even on this game that I'm working on now,
Right.
there's more than one or two people working on it.
Of
There's
course.
probably like 5 people working on
Right.
it right now or something, right? But it is, I am responsible for providing that strong vision once
Exactly.
again and making sure that everything happens,
Right.
right? And I think that that's one of the things, you know, somebody might think that the game mechanics in Braid are good or that it's experimental or whatever, but part of what people respond to, like you were saying earlier, is you can tell that there's a strong vision behind the game
Right.
very quickly, right? And that's just very different from what people get most of the time, right? Because games made by bigger companies do tend to have this design by committee thing going on, and things that are designed by committee tend to start to feel the same because committees tend to converge toward a certain average committee, right? You don't do things that are amazing by interviewing, like the way that works a lot is by focus testing, where you have a group of people in who are like who you expect to sell the game to, and you ask them like, hey, should this mascot character like be a rabbit or should he be, you know, a bear? That approach is successful to a certain degree, like that's why people do it, right?
Right.
But it doesn't help you, I think, make something that really changes the world or impacts it in a significant way. I
Right.
mean, you can always get lucky and impact the world in a significant
Right.
way, but like if you're really trying to be more than lucky, it's not a good approach. The example that I use, because game design is a very intangible thing to talk about.
Yeah.
Right? The example that I tend to use, and I'm going to have to stop using it soon because it's going to be too old, but is the iPhone, right? I mean, if you remember what cell phones were like before the iPhone got announced, right? They were, you know, just had little screens and like a lot of buttons, and you were doing your like, whatever that text encoding thing is called when you're texting people, and they were very different, right? And if you had held a focus group, which those companies I'm sure all did all the time, and said, what do you want your phone to be like? If we were going to make the awesome phone, what would it be? And
Right.
they probably would have said, I don't know, this would have been, right, like, you know, 2006, 2007.
Yeah.
They would have said, like, I want free ringtones, or like, you know, stuff like that, right? You wouldn't have gotten anything like the iPhone, right? Something like that comes from sitting down and fundamentally questioning what is being done and looking at all the things that are dumb and saying we're not going to do those dumb things anymore, we're going to do something cool, and not listening to what people say they want. Like it's kind of tricky, right? Because you want to respect people, you want to some degree give them what they want, but you want to give them what they want that they do not understand that they want, right?
Yeah.
And that's how you get the magic, is that when they didn't understand it, they didn't imagine what you were about to give them, and then you give them something that's like outside of what they were thinking about. That is really cool.